The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, just in its first few years, has gained tremendous popularity. They have run on the short tracks, on the super speedways, and even on road courses, but never before at Daytona International Speedway. This is their first year here. They'll race on Friday, and you'll see it live. Meanwhile, we've got a half-hour practice here we'll keep an eye on.
And the NASCAR Busch Series, that is Jeff Spraker, the 69 truck that is leaving pit road. Ray Judy has a tool that he'll go measure the angle of the rear spoiler, and it's got to be maintained a certain degree, and the thing is about 8 inches tall. That's one of the things that they did to, number one, aid these trucks in being able to handle this Daytona Speedway and also slow them down, was put, and I think it's an 8-inch rear spoiler on that vehicle.
It's like dragging a parachute behind you, but these engines are not restricted like the Winston Cup cars are.
700 horsepower most of these vehicles have. That's Lonnie Rush, the Hastings Filters, number 27. Now, we noticed the Busch cars would sit on pit road and wait for the gap. As soon as Ray Judy tells these guys go, they hit the racetrack.
That's right. There's no waiting.
No waiting.
There's Rich Woodland from Templeton, California.
We met him first out in winter heats many, many years ago when we first started going out there.
Yep. There's a different sound, and you can tell it there as they hit the end of the backstretch.
The NASCAR Winston Cup, NASCAR Busch Series cars have the restricted engines, have the plate under the carburetor that restricts the airflow, fuel mixture, and therefore reducing the horsepower by about 250, and therefore reducing the sound. That's the first thing you notice with the trucks, is just the sound, how loud they are.
Earlier today, Mike Wallace was the fastest in the practice session at 187.3. Rich Woodland just ran a lap at 179.087. One of the fastest in the Busch practice session we'll talk to now down in the garage area. Here's Ray Dunlap.
Well, Bob, that'd be Bobby Hamilton Jr. And my question is, how do you make a car go that fast when it doesn't have any sponsorship on it?
I don't know. I think it's just that don't have that weight of decals on it, I guess. I don't know. We at the end of the year, we was ahead to have cars left over with some old bodies and already had some new bodies hung on them. So we was that far ahead, and the guys were able just to massage on the speedway car the whole 2 or 3 weeks, you know, getting it ready, and the TZR motors are just digging all the way around, and the car's good and free, drives good. I told them I could drive one-handed if I want to, and it's scary. It's so easy, you know. So I come in like, that must not have been a good lap. Well, you're like a 10th quickest, and then. But, you know, I know they got a little bit left, and we do too, so we're really looking forward to tomorrow.
What do you think pole qualifying is going to be tomorrow afternoon? What kind of time do we need to see the fastest car?
I would say a teen or a flat. And if you can get anywhere near that, the biggest thing you got to get in the first day, because in that whole rest of the week you can practice on the draft, everything, get all the aerodynamic stuff, and to win this thing, you got to be there up front. The only way we're going to be there is getting time to practice. So that's our main goal, getting top 25. We do that, we're happy.
Okay, and good luck. That's Bobby Hamilton, 5th fastest in Busch Grand National practice in an unsponsored all-car number 26.
And back in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series garage, we were talking a moment ago, Benny, about the size of the spoiler. Take a look at the spoiler on the back of this NASCAR Craftsman truck. Now, it's a little less than 8 inches, about 7 3/4. And that is a huge blade on the back of these trucks to help slow them down. I got this ruler trying to keep the angle, and right about 7 3/4 inch blade in the back. Let me show you. See how this the rear lid is raised on this truck here? The fuel cell is actually down inside here beneath the rear lid. They have these supports here to hold the rear lid up. See where the fuel filler goes down? So the fuel cell actually is embedded there as opposed to in the trunk of a normal NASCAR Busch Series or Winston Cup car. This, by the way, is the Kurt Busch truck. It is remember Kurt Busch had problems this morning with oil on the racetrack, and so he's getting ready to go out. The young man who will drive now for Jack Roush in the year 2000 after having a very successful stint on the NASCAR Featherlight Southwest Tour. So Kurt getting ready to go back on the racetrack, and they've been working to get these new backup Exide Ford F-150 ready to go, so he will rejoin the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Practice momentarily.
There is fluid on the racetrack right now, and fluid on the racetrack earlier today is really what caused the crash that we saw by Kurt Busch. Here is what happened early this morning.
There he goes down the corner. There was oil on the racetrack, and he gets in it. The truck turned backwards. When he turned it back to the right across that racetrack, he shoots right into the outside retaining wall, and that's why they had to go to the backup truck.
There it is, being prepared to go onto the track for some practice here this afternoon. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more. Awaiting the resumption of practice for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. The trucks are taking a look at the racetrack to make sure that all the fluid is up off of the surface. Down to Ray Dunlap, who's with Joe Ruttman.
Well, Bob, when we look around this Craftsman Truck Series garage, not a lot of super speedway experience here, except for when you talk to Joe Ruttman. You might be the man when it comes to racing here at Daytona.
I don't know if I'm the man or not. That was so long ago, I probably forgot all about what super speedway was all about. But it's just great to be here, and it's exciting to see the series finally get to Daytona. And when it comes Friday, maybe we can put on a good race and get some more truck fans.
Unrestricted is the key here, and a lot of people say that throttle response is going to make it like old-time racing. We hope that's the case.
Well, I hope so. No, wait a minute. Ron here is giving me all the tips, and he's because he's more experienced in speedway stuff, you know. No, that's what's neat about it. Bobby Hamilton mentioned that I haven't run a plate in a long time, and you can fall back a little bit, and the power will help you catch up. And it's just a lot of fun when you get close to somebody, zooming up on them real quick. I don't know what to do with them after you zoom up on them, but it's just fun to be here, and I'm just enjoying every second. And it's good that Dodge has a good vehicle for me to drive, and Dana's a good sponsor, and Bobby's a good owner, and it gives me the opportunity to find out if I forgot what little bit I knew about super speedway.
A bunch of guys came down here and tested. What we saw in that testing, do you think that will reflect for what we're going to see in qualifying?
Yeah, speed-wise about the same, and it picks up a little more in the draft because they knock such a big hole in the air. But I think what's going to be exciting is watching the race. If they don't tinker with us, I think we should put on a super good race, and I think that's what the fans like to see. And it's going to, the older folks that remembered slingshots, or whatever that was back then, they don't do that anymore. But I think the truck will do that. I think you can position yourself late in the race, and you could win. I know what not to do. Now, if I can just remember what to do, if I could get in that same position, I'd be in good shape.
Okay, we'll see if Joe Ruttman can reach back in his memory bank and pull out some stuff. The track is about to go green. We're going to have some more truck practice.
They did put down some oil dry up in the east end of the banking, turns 3 and 4. That has been done. Track is ready for high speed, and here we go once again.
I don't guess these guys realize we're supposed to be getting ready to qualify because all the trucks go on the racetrack at the same time. So I guess we're going to have a drafting session here possibly.
Seventeen cars were out during that short session we just had before we went to the caution.
Or trucks.
Okay, thank you.
And Jeffrey Bodine, talk about some experience. Jeffrey Bodine in that 15 truck, 183.640, and that would have to be the guy that you'd think would have a great chance at victory on Friday afternoon.
So we'll wait for the trucks to come up to speed and come right back with coverage of the final minutes of this practice session here at Daytona. ESPN is the place to be for everything at Daytona, including this practice session for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Greg Biffle and Andy Houston coming down through the tri-oval.
That time by, they ran about 185 and a quarter. Greg Biffle did, with Andy Houston in tow. And that's, I would guess, with a truck in front of them now, they probably would pick up. I would think that the pace of the race is going to be somewhere around the 186 to 188 miles per hour. We see Biffle waving in the Granger truck to Andy Houston.
Well, Benny and I first ran into Greg Biffle and Bill Weber. First ran into Greg Biffle out at NASCAR Winter Heat in Tucson, Arizona. He's made great strides since then. Let's meet him in this NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Spotlight.
I like watching a little bit of boxing on TV, and there's a few. I watched Muhammad Ali when I was growing up. The two people that I've looked up to all my life is my parents. They're probably the biggest fans and the biggest support I've ever had. I like getting my hands dirty. I like building things. I like doing a little bit of construction or working on cars or all kinds of things.
Almost won the championship last year. Had a really good season.
Sure did. Won 9 times. Talking about building things. He built race cars for a living before he got this ride with Jack Roush. Now he's a race car driver for a living, but had a company out in the Northwest, Vancouver, Washington, called JNS Race Cars. And a lot of the guys up in the Northwest in the Touring Series runs those chassis. You see the Granger truck.
Greg sitting inside while the crew does some adjusting on the chassis, the engine. On the racetrack, there's the 16 of Jimmy Hensley heading into turn number 1.
And Donnie Neuenberger, an 84 truck. Remember from the Goodies Dash Series a few years ago, Neuenberger?
Oh, yeah. Jerry Punch is standing down there by Greg Biffle.
And Greg sitting inside the Granger.com machine, the Ford F-150. And Greg, it's almost, you almost hate to begin a new year because the last year was so good for you, a record 9 victories in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to these guys that work on the truck here today. Those 9 wins were something else for the Granger team, and we just hope to come back and maybe have half that success in 2000 and maybe accomplish a championship. But we're just trying to get a qualifying run in here today, and there's a lot of traffic out there, so we'll keep working on our truck, and can't wait for Friday.
Hey, what do these trucks feel like here at Daytona? Are they pretty stable in the draft? They feel pretty good to you?
Well, the truck's such a big hole in the air that creates a lot of turbulence, and they tend to jump around a little bit more than I believe the cars do. So, they're relatively stable.
Jimmy Finnick told us yesterday that he was very impressed with you testing Mark Martin's Winston Cup car when Mark was laid up because of the back surgery. Did that test, being in a Cup car, help you now maybe come here with the NASCAR Craftsman truck?
Well, I think what it did is it helped improve my knowledge working with such a great group of guys like over there on Mark's car. I'm able to understand things better on how we need to execute things, and anytime you're around guys like that, you're bound to learn something.
And I understand congratulations are in order. An announcement made earlier today, 2001 full-time in the NASCAR Busch Series. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm anxious to get started in the Busch Series. Our goal is, the 2000 Craftsman Truck title, but I'm anxious for 2001 and 2002, hopefully once they come then.
I heard the biggest cheer, though, was over here in the Truck Series when they knew they were going to be leaving after this year because they don't want to have to try to beat you anymore. You're too darn good. This team's awfully good as a unit.
It is, definitely, and a lot of these guys are going to go Busch racing with us, and we're excited about that, too. But I'll be back to visit these guys, the Craftsman Truck Series, as often as I can.
Hey, Greg, good luck to you on Friday, and good luck this year in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Well, I thank you.
Greg Biffle, 9 wins last year, set a record for victories and came very, very close, just 8 points away from winning the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series Championship. Jack Sprague won his second by a scant 8 points in the finale at California.
They put up the window net, and the Granger Ford backs out, ready for more practice for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We'll be back in just a moment. ESPN coverage of Speed Weeks 2000 at Daytona is being brought to you by Autotrader.com, the biggest, best used car site on the planet. On the racetrack, there is Bobby Hamilton in the Dana Dodge.
Best lap, almost 184 miles per hour. Hamilton will have 2 trucks in this race. Joe Rudman, we talked to him just a moment ago, will be driving 18 that he will campaign all year long, but since Hamilton is the owner, he said, look, I think you get a chance to play.
Benny, why are these guys not apparently concerned about getting a clean lap? They want to draft and test more in a race situation, it seems.
I don't really know, Bob. They either need to get nose to tail and practice drafting or try to get spread out and try to get a qualifying run. Right now, they just seem to be not doing either one.
Hamilton decides to back off the throttle and bring it in. Jerry is with Jimmy Hensley.
And Jimmy, one of the most popular drivers in the series, moving over from the 43 truck to drive for Ed Renzi this year. And Jimmy, I understand you guys lost an engine this morning, only got a couple of laps.
That's true, Jerry. We just first time out, really just got 1 lap, really. It blew on the 2nd lap. So right now is the only time we've really got into practice and only got 4 or 5 laps in. So we're kind of behind the 8 ball right now, but the truck seems to be pretty good. So hopefully we can get dialed in here and get us a decent qualifying effort tomorrow and be ready to race Friday.
What kind of schedule are you going to have here for this year? You going to run most of them or all of them?
Well, right now, we're trying to secure sponsorship, and started out, we was going to do 4 or 5 races, see, how things go, and they got some pretty good leads on some sponsors, and I tell you, this, the Renzi Chevrolet is really running good, in testing and all that, so I think we can get some good runs early on, you might secure a little money and just go for all of them.
I know you're concerned your wife, Becky, had gone back home. Her mom is very ill, so we send our best wishes there, but I know it's been very difficult for you to be here and have your family very emotionally torn back in Virginia.
Yeah, but she seemed to be a little better today, so it made me feel a lot better.
Okay, Jimmy, good luck to you.
Thank you, man.
Jimmy Hensley sitting in the Ed Renzi Chevrolet, and I think we're going to check up with Ray Dunlap, who's with a driver who's been very busy for the past, 2.5 weeks, Ray?
That is a fact, Jerry. 4 different divisions Lynn Amick will be competing in down here at Daytona. He ran in the Motorola Cup with the sports cars, came here and ran last Sunday in the Arcabondo Marhide Series, driving for Kenny Schrader. Going to be in the Busch race and hoping to be in the truck race. Hey, you have a pretty good Busch car, but what do you know about truck racing?
Well, I'm learning really fast with these trucks. I'll tell you what, it's pretty amazing you get out here and I got a plug check where I usually get a plug check with a Busch car, and I had to fire it back up because these things slow down with all this air they're pushing. So I'm learning a little bit, but it's a lot of fun.
In the Busch car, you got the ceiling of the car right about here on your head, and there, right here, you could put your luggage in there if you needed to.
To the top. Yeah, that's something else I'm having to get adjusted to because I look around, I feel like I'm sitting on the floor like I'm a midget or something.
Do you get worn out driving all these divisions?
I love it. Man, what kind of opportunity is this to get to run 4 races here at Daytona? I couldn't be happier. And both, the Busch car's running real well. I think the truck's going to be pretty good. And a lot of those guys are out there drafting, and we're trying to be by ourselves. But I tell you that to be able to run Friday and Saturday and maybe one day Sunday, it couldn't get much better than this.
Okay, that's Lynn Amick. 4 races here at Daytona. A very, very busy guy. Now let's go back to the doctor.
All right, they're measuring up on Andy Houston's Cat Financial Chevrolet. Andy Houston in his 3rd full year of racing in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. 4th this morning in practice. And Andy, you have been here before on this racetrack in a NASCAR Goodies Dash Series car.
Yeah, we have, Jerry, and it's quite a bit different here in these trucks. We don't have any restrictor plate, and these things punch a pretty good size hole in the air, but we're just looking forward to a good weekend. We've been pretty decent in practice so far. The first session, I think we're pretty good in this one. Getting a little bit of drafting help on those times, though, and I think with really as many trucks as here, I'm not sure how many of these guys are getting real good clean laps. So, I think we're okay. I think we're a good top 10 truck, and hopefully we can just get set really good for the race on Friday and get a good finish for the Cat Reynolds Store Chevrolet.
We'll let you get back out. Good luck to you in qualifying, and we'll follow your progress tomorrow. And say hi to Dad for me, will you?
I'll do it, Jerry. Thank you.
His dad, the Busch Series veteran Tom Houston, and it's great to see a driver who was injured last year, nearly cost him his career, or even worse. Rick Corelli, injured at Memphis last year, now back in the Truck Series, right, Ray?
That's true, Jerry. Everywhere I walk in the garage, whether it's in the Busch Series or in the Truck Series or whatever, Ron Hornaday is going by. This guy must be trying to get a TV job. I don't know, but hey, Rick, so glad to see you back here in the Truck Series, and congratulations on that great win out there in Phoenix.
It's been great. It's good to get that behind me, get first race and lead the Copper Classic, win my 5th one, and being down here with a 66 truck and feeling you know, hoping just to have a great run down here. We're 9th in the first practice, and we tried something here, and we're going to go back out here, and we know what we tried didn't work, so ain't no sense go with it.
Did you ever think you'd be driving a truck at the Daytona International Speedway?
When the series started, I never thought we would be, but, you know, everybody that ran this truck series deserves to be here. We've all busted our tail, and we've all ran really well at every place else, and I think they're going to put on a great race here at Daytona on Friday.
I'll tell you what, I can't wait. Hope this truck gets a little bit faster. Now let's go hear from Mike Wallace. I think Jerry's with him.
Driver of the Team ASE Ford, fastest this morning in practice, and of course 2 truck wins, 2 West and West wins last year. By the way, you ran the Daytona 500 last year and finished in the top 25, so this place has been pretty good to you.
Well, it has, Jerry. It's a really enjoyable place to race, and it's such a great thrill to be here with the trucks. I mean, this is a kind of a phenomenal relaunch for the truck series to be able to come to a place like this, get people like yourself to talk to us.
Hey, it's a pleasure for me to come talk to you. We're running sort of short on time. Give us an estimate tomorrow, your prediction on what the pole might be, because we're going to be covering pole qualifying for these trucks tomorrow.
Well, it's really hard to figure out because right now they're sending everybody out in one big group, so it's hard to get a clean lap. Matter of fact, we quit for today because we can't get a lap that means anything, you know, a little fictitious. I say they're going to run 185, 186 range, you know, mile per hour wise, and you know, that should be the pole.
Hey, good luck to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jerry. Appreciate it very much.
Let's check in with Ray, standing by with Steve Grissom.
And Jerry, they're 3rd fastest here in the 43 Dodge. And Steve, never been in a truck race before. What do you think about driving one of these big old units?
Well, I tell you, these things are pretty neat. You know, the way the rules are and all. It's a lot of fun. You know, it's going to be an exciting race come Friday.
Whole bunch of guys out there doing some drafting. You guys still have to qualify yet. How good is this truck?
I think it's going to be pretty decent. We changed motors here from the morning practice to now, and you know, things definitely picked up. So, you know, from that, we try to get us in a good qualifying deal and get this thing driving good for Friday.
Okay, good luck. That's Steve Grissom. And, guys, I think Joe Ruttman may have just blown up.
Well, tomorrow we're going to be here to cover qualifying in the NASCAR Busch Series and also back here in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. And a lot of people think that the Fords are going to be awfully strong in the Chevrolets, but I'm telling you, watch out for these Dodges here. I think the Dodge may have something for them tomorrow. The Fords were awfully quick in practice and in testing, and Mike Wallace was strong, but I think that possibly the Dodges could sneak up on them a little bit, and we will show you all the qualifying tomorrow at NASCAR Busch Series and NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series style. Let's check in one final time with Ray Dunlap.
Well, Jerry, at the top of the show, we talked about a lot of newcomers coming into the Busch Grand National Series, and we saw David Steele up at the top of the charts along with Bobby Hamilton and Jason Leffler, a lot of really fast young drivers. It's going to be a blast to watch qualifying tomorrow and to watch the Busch Grand National Series compete all throughout the year. I think we may have the best field of cars ever in the year 2000 for the NASCAR Busch Series.
More for you tomorrow, beginning at 12:30. Qualifying for the Busch Series and the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, time permitting IROC practice. Don't forget RPM tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. John Kernan with the report above Victory Lane here at Daytona International Speedway. And up next, the 50 greatest athletes featuring number 20, Ty Cobb. Thanks for joining us. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.